Jaquiski Tartt. Jaquiski Tartt. I mean, we didn't really people don't really think about him very much, and I think everyone kind of just assumed he'd be healthy. But the idea that he wasn't going to be healthy week 1 was scary. And I'm thinking if it's not him out, the thing about that's really good about Tartt is you can't like isolate him, you can't exploit him. He always does the right thing, and he's a hell of an athlete. If it's not him, it's like someone you have to hide. It's someone that offenses are going to try to exploit and target, and you got a big problem. He's not like the flashiest player. He doesn't make a bunch of plays, but damn, he's so important.
That's why. So with Tartt, you rarely hear his name called on any sort of pass plays, and for me, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing, right?
He never gives up anything over the top. And I point to 2019. The 49ers had allowed in his games, I think over, the 10, 11 games that he was there, they allowed something about I think it was 20, 25 explosive pass plays. The three games that he missed, they allowed 13. And 1, 2, and 3 that happened over and over.
Perfect stat. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Right. He's safe. And that's why people don't like it. You want your safeties to be a ball hawk and everything. Sometimes the best plays that are made are the ones that you don't see. When Tartt is over there covering a guy and the ball doesn't get thrown his way and it goes somewhere else for an incompletion, you'll sit there and say, oh, nice play by that defensive back on the incompletion. No, Jaquiski Tartt actually whipped that away. So now you can't go that way. And that's the reason. Listen, if you don't listen to me or Grant on this one, listen to the coaching staff. Yeah. With his injury, he's immediately right back in that spot. It's not Hufanga and it's not Tavon Wilson. And Tavon Wilson was the one who ran with the ones. This is Jaquiski Tartt's job until he can't play anymore. I don't care what people want to say about, hey, you need him off the roster because he's injured. Cool. Injuries, we know that. But when he's on the field, it is as safe as it gets. And if he's able to put together a long season, then you'll really start to feel it in the way that the shift has happened with Jimmie Ward and the public perception about him.
And look, I'm not saying Tartt can play 17 games this year. I'm just saying if he does it, it's a problem. He's very important to this team because the next guy up would probably be Hufanga, who is good at certain things, but they're different. I mean, for example, when Tartt is at practice, he does one-on-one drills, like pass coverage drills, with the corners against wide receivers. Him and Jimmie Ward, because it's like a waste. It's not a waste of time, but like it's a waste of time if they don't go against Kittle every time. It's a waste of time. Hufanga doesn't do that. He's he's struggling against freaking Charlie Werner. You know what I'm saying? He's getting roasted by Jordan Matthew. That's what he's doing. So he's a nice 5th round pick, but I feel like he's being a little overhyped by the media. I think the real best rookie DB right now is Lenore. He's not getting as much hype because he doesn't know Troy Polamalu or whatever. But Tartt's super, super important. Hufanga, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but there's definitely a drop off between Tartt and him.
Here's the similarities between Hufanga and Tartt, if I can correlate them. I think that they both play very well on instincts. I think that Tartt's mind is the part that gets lost in the shuffle, right? Fred Warner got that interception against the Giants, but then when you heard him speak after the press conference, he said Tartt called it out because he saw it live. He called it out and he ran the route and he undercut it. The other one was go back to 2019. Week 2 against Cincinnati Bengals. Ahkello Witherspoon is on the right side. There's a specific play on the Bengals side of the field, I believe in the 3rd quarter, where they try to run a slant route with John Ross. Ahkello jumps it. But if you go back and you just watch Tartt, he goes like this, and he's yelling at Witherspoon that he called it out. Witherspoon, if he brings that in, that's a pick 6. That would be 2 pick 6s back to back because he had one week 1 and then week 2. I think that people really don't understand what Tartt brings to this defense. And if you don't believe me, then believe the coaching staff. How is it that a guy who wasn't around for camp or any sort of preseason until that last game is automatically slotted right back in that spot? Why? They trust him, they know what he's doing, and they know that he's a smart player. You guys got to get up off his back, man.
And he's not just trustworthy and smart. He's a really good athlete. He was a top 50 pick. He moves really. I mean, he covers wide. He covers wide receivers in one-on-ones. He's bigger than Jimmie Ward, and he's still out there doing it. So I'm just saying.
He did that in 2017 as well. He had to cover tight ends. He was up at the line and all those things. And then when you heard Tartt talk in his press conference after he signed, I hope that they blitz me 35 times. That shows what DeMeco Ryans is trying to do with him. So don't act like if you just put in Hufanga or Wilson, no disrespect to either of them, that it would be the same exact thing. We haven't seen Hufanga be that security blanket on the back end that doesn't give up big plays. So that would be the part that I'm very concerned about, even if they leave him in single high during preseason games.
Okay, one more player on the defense that we would consider irreplaceable. Go ahead.
Jimmie Ward.
We didn't talk about this beforehand, but that's my other guy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jimmie Ward.
Jimmie Ward. So Jimmie Ward, we don't have to sing his praises anymore because now everybody all of a sudden loves Jimmie Ward after years of trashing this man, right? But here's the thing that I think is the most important about Jimmie Ward. K'Waun Williams is great, and he's obviously the slot corner at this point, right? And I thought that Diamador Lenore would profile as his replacement in that way. But here's this. What if Jimmie Ward in a pinch is asked in nickel downs to actually be the corner guy, the slot corner? It's possible. What other free safety do you have in the league that is able to do that where you feel comfortable? He's clamping Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, any of your tight ends. Jimmie Ward is irreplaceable based on where you can play him. He is the ultimate chess piece. And in an emergency, in a pinch, if you need him to be slot corner, he can. It's just that now everybody's starting to wake up to it. And it's only been 6 years of him being in the league for it to be now known.
Yeah. And again, like, he's always been really good, and he didn't get his props, especially from me. But what the thing was in 2019, they did have Tavarius Moore, and Moore isn't great, but there's a lot you can do with him. He played corner. I mean, he's very athletic, and he was part of their dime package. He's not here anymore. He's hurt, and I don't know when he's coming back. So I think going from him, who's super athletic, to late 5th round pick from USC or career special teamer Tavon Wilson is different. I don't know. So yeah, I think this is again the depth in the secondary. Big picture here. Yes, Jimmie Ward's great. I love singing his praises. We could do it all the time. Big picture, the Niners really spent a lot of money to have one backup, and now they have no depth in the secondary. It's very I feel like in 2019 they could have won a game without Sherman. Yes. They could have won a game. Mosley was a huge found money for them, and they won games with Witherspoon as well. Now it's like, I don't know, man.
As quickly as you wanted to kill a Witherspoon gone, you start to realize that there's no fallback plan like him anymore, unfortunately. So we'll see. We're going to see.